So we are the group 2, and before we discuss or before we tackle our topic, let us introduce ourselves first. So I am Girl May M. Daliton.
I am Janet Asabarita. I am Princess Hazel Asabarita.
My name is Jalistar Alvin. I am David Pigola.
And I am Crystal Jane Ariola. I am Maria Kathleen Aralbran.
I am Kinder Diana Nabalog.
I am Stephanie Mababa. So we are the group 2. So in module 10, the topic is writing a project proposal. So what is a project proposal? A project proposal is a document that facilitates a professional relationship between an organization and outside contributors. Typically, a project proposal is the initial framework for establishing the concept of the project and includes what you want to accomplish, an explanation of objectives, and plans of achieving them. It is a common for a project proposal to include a list of activities, tasks that will be associated with the project. So it simply means that a project proposal is a document that describes a proposal project and describes a proposal project and its purpose, outcomes, and steps that will be kanang i-appeal siya sa project, a specific project na himuon. And a project proposal is a presentation that outline a plan or a idea or project that is typically with a goal of persuading and approve a fund or supported. So, ang project proposal ko no is mao ni siya ang document na contains ideas and mga plano. So, mao ni siya ang document na contain of plans, ideas para to a specific project or goal na himuon sa mga contributors. So, why do you need a project proposal? First and foremost, a proposal is required to get, A project proposal is also a marketing document that kicks off a relationship between an organization and outside project stakeholders. Creating a proposal allows an organization to establish a formal, logical presentation to an outside worker or project donor. Proposals are generally drafted during one of the early phases of your project before detailed plans are made and resources allocated. Therefore, time and budget estimates and often rough best. So, this means that a project proposal serves several purposes, such as a marketing document. It is used to promote an idea or project. External stakeholders or outside stakeholders, such as investors, clients, or partners. So, establishing a relationship helps for a formal external stakeholders. Proposal typically drafted during the early stages of the project development or early proposal creation to secure funding or investment. So overall, a project proposal is a crucial or important document that helps organizations secure support, funding partner, and relationships for a project or a project na himuon. So, why do you need a project proposal? First and foremost, a proposal is required to get executive buy-in for a new project, program, or service under organization. Secondly, it is used to get everyone on the team thinking about the same goals and priorities. Lastly, it serves a way for the organization to know when they need to make new hiring decisions or budget adjustments. Successful organizations get a granular with their project proposals and engage project in planning before seeking before out budget or executive buy-in. So this means that Project proposal is important because it helps stakeholders or what is stakeholders? Stakeholders a person or group that have the same interest in same sila og interest sa specific
Project.
same sila interest sa specific project mo na siya ang stakeholders. So it is important because it helps stakeholders understand the project goals. By having a project proposal, organizations can ensure that everyone involved is in the same page and the project is well planned, executed, and managed.
So, what are the advantages of a clear project proposal? First is establishes project viability. Clear proposals prove the viability of a project or program. It means checking if a project is realistic and worth pursuing. Next is clarifies expectations. Increase clarity regarding requirements and project roadmap. It ensures that everyone involved understanding what needs to be done, how it will achieve, and what the expected comes out. Next is create structure. Structure and organization is established up front, reducing the chance of misalignment. Ensures a logical flow, making it easy to understand goal, task, and timeliness. 4 is increases budget. Successful proposals lead to approved budgets and financial support, organization, growth, and project replication. Means allocating more funds to cover additional costs, improve quality, or expand project scope.
Number 5, fuels business growth. Proposal play on an integral parts in our organizational growth, helping in budget approval and new client adoption. This business or so kaning this fuel business growth kani nag-advantage kay kailangan nato mo attract mga clients and boost overall business para mag-grow atong company. For example, imaging a small software company trying to expand its clients base. They could create a proposal outlining their service and how they can help other business improve their operation. Number 6, proposes the brand, reaching out to the stakeholders and building an alliance increases credibility and exposure in the community at large. For example, a small bakery waiting to expand might submit proposal to a local farmers. Ensure the brand. Having details your project methods and measurement tools in advantage accountability into every step of your work. For example, a construction company binding on the large building project will create detailed proposal outlining timelines, materials, safety protocols, and potential challenges. E. Establishes how to plan for success. Integrating grant writing into day-to-day works to proposals into useful planning, document and details templates for project implementation. For example, a research team applying for a grant will use a proposal to outline the research plan method, budget, and expected outcome.
Formally solicited. A formally solicited project proposal is established in response to an official request for a new proposal. In this case, a request for proposal or RFP document is used to outline demands and specific needs. A formally solicited proposal is a structured and specific response to said RFP. Having an RFP makes the entire proposal process easier. As the specifics are spelled out, project planning can prevent misunderstanding or a lack of information that may cause complications later. So, ang project proposal is need siya for request for proposal para makapuan o new nga proposal siya nga process. Then the informally solicited is an informally solicited proposal does not require an RFP. This is, there is no specific document required to an outline customer or audience demands. This is the initial raw starting point when proposing a project's viability. The major differentiator between a formal and informal project proposal is the number of details involved in planning. Informal proposal lack granular project details such as goals, deliverables, and methods. An informally solicited project proposal can be understood as proposal request that is lacking specific. So informally solicited is no need na ta request for proposal, then makuan na siya sa kuan need na pud siya o need na pud siya need para makuan siya kay naa naman siya request that is lacking specific.
So, unsolicited project proposal can be compared to a call because no one asked for or expected to receive one. But if the audience can relate to the proposal, it can prove extremely valuable. An unsolicited proposal is typically formed from more ad hoc activities such as an aha moment or an enlightened conversation with a customer. So, an unsolicited proposal is a document that is for a specific audience, that is without being asked for or without being expected.
Continuation project proposals are essentially an update or reminder for ongoing and already approved projects. This type of proposal is the simplest to construct as it is a continuation of already existing documentation. A continuation proposal can be thought of as a check-in with the audience to ensure the correct funds are provided for the next phase, as well as discussing progress and accounting for any changes before moving forward. So, ang continuation in a project proposal refers to the process of extending or continuing an existing project beyond its funding period. So its purpose, ang purpose ani niya is also to keep stakeholders informed, ensure na ang project is move forward na or planado na or discuss na ang progress kung any changes sa project na himuon. And continuation can be used when there are tasks that is still to be accomplished or tasks na kailangan agad.
A renewal project proposal is required when a growing project has been terminated or the resources and support behind such project can no longer be used. This proposal is more about proving that the return on investment is greater than the money being spent on resources so that the project can begin with. So renewal means making something new again or extending it. Supplemental. Inoperio, can you please stand up and please? Supplemental. Okay. Supplemental project proposal is required. Supplemental project proposal is required when more resources are required to complete a project that were originally proposed. The main goal of a supplemental proposal is to improve the value of adding resources and update all the audience with a timeline based on this new plan. Many times, a supplemental proposal is required when the original project scope has grown beyond initial expectations. It can be seen as a continuation of the original proposal. So, supplementary means something extra that adds to or support something else. Task breakdown and estimate. This is the section of the proposal where stated project schedule is presented. To start with at least of tasks that are required for the project, as well as the estimation of the hours required to complete each one from this. There you can take a look at your resource pool and allocate your team accordingly. The purpose of this section is establish the time extent it will take to achieve the solution, as well as the resources involved in this section. Here is the where you start to see the ideas to turn into action. A project proposal will often include a gentle chart outlining the resource, task, and timeline. A task breakdown is a process of dividing a large task or project into a smaller manageable tasks. Here are a few examples. Project deliverable. This is where you list out all the deliverables you expect to see after the project is closed. For example, this could be a product information or reports that you plan to upload. Ensures that each deliverable has an associated estimate deliverable date. It means what are project deliverables. Project deliverables are the tangible or intangible products or service that are produced and deliverable as a result of a product. Appendix. This section is dedicated to any additional charge draft, image, or reports that were present in the proposal. Many times, reference material will go into the appendix as it does not naturally fall into the main body copy of the proposal. An appendix is supplementary section as document that provides additional information, data, or materials that supports the main content of the report.
How to write a project proposal. First, define your audience. Know your audience and know who. Identify who will read your project proposal. For example, teachers, principals, or community leaders. Second, determine the problem being solved by your proposal. Clearly define the issue being solved. Conduct research on the current state of the issue and potential solutions. Gather data, statistics, and case studies to support your proposal. Proactively determine the type and the amount of resources required. Identify measurable outcomes. For example, improve efficiency. Begin to outline your proposal document. Structure the proposal. Sample project proposal. Section 1, project information. This section intends to provide the high-level picture of the project as well as convey the most critical project details. Include the following in this section: name of the organization. Next is project title. Next, project summary, project time frame prepared by attached documentation, project contacts, all the individuals involved in the project.
Section 2, Project Summary. The goal of this section is to present the reason for doing this project as well as the goal of the objective. In this section, in particular, it is very important to write concisely and clearly. Some project professionals even suggest writing the project summary task. So, project summary explains why are you doing this project and what you hope to achieve. What you hope to achieve. So, before you begin writing, you should be able to answer the following questions. Why are you doing this project? What will you be doing? What will you be doing in? Who will be doing it? Where will it be doing? How long will it take? And how much will it cost? Project background. This section of the proposal requires a huge sentence that clarify the problem your proposal is tackling. Here, it is critical to explain the current state of the problem and why your audience will care about solving it. Make sure to include references and statistics in this section. Best practice is to keep this no longer than on page. Project background explains the project you're trying to fix, and it should include facts and data to prove that this problem exists. Last, project objectives. Use this section of the proposal to explicitly list the goals that the project is trying to achieve. This project objective explains the list of your goals and list of the goals to have a successful project.
I-post ba? I-post?
Section 3, the project methodology. The project methodology section of the proposal is where you detail the plan for how the objectives mentioned in the previous section will be achieved. This is the first section of the proposal that details the course of action to remedy the problem, and it's meant to prove that the adequate research has been done for this decision. To start, outline the methodology being used, the population being addressed, and establish the process for reaching your objectives. For instance, this section is in a plan of details para kung saan pagkuha ang isang objective nga gina-mention sa previous nga section. This is the first section nga gina-details and action to solve the problem, and it is mean to prove that the research has been done for this decision. To start it, dapat i-outline ang methodology nga ginamit and the process para makuha ang objectives. Then, Project approach summary. Use a few sentences to describe the overall approach to the project. This includes how the team will be organized, what tools will be used, and how changes will be addressed during execution. Nagamit siyang pinaka-sentences to describe the whole project. This includes kung saan sa team pag-organize, kung saan ang tools paggamit, or kung saan pag-usok nga i-address ang estimate. Section 4, Project Risk Management. This section is dedicated to managing change during project execution. Clients know that proposal rarely covers everything that is required to achieve the given project. So change management techniques are required. So in a project proposal covers everything that what a project looking forward. Like what I've discussed kanina, a project proposal is contain siya on ideas na ibutang sa specific na project. So project proposal covers everything that is a project looking forward to. So project management is required in making proposals because it focuses on managing changes that may occur during project execution. So, ang purpose aning project risk management is to identify any possible impacts na kuan sa inyo ang project. So, section 4 has 2 parts. So, number 1 is the risk management plan. Risk management plan is a detailed plan of action to minimize the chance of risk of change during the project life cycle. So, risk management plan, it is a document that outlines the strategy to identify, assess, and mitigate potential risks that could impact a project. So, this includes details about how risks will be identified, analyzed, monitored para ma-minimize ang mga negative impacts sa inyong project. So, second part is a life risk register. A line item list of risk and potential counter efforts that will be used to counteract. So, risk register is a document list of potential negative events or uncertainties that could impact the project success. And also a risk register, also it is a tool to identify a plan for potential obstacles within the project. Basically, ang risk register purpose is para i-demonstrate sa mga stakeholders that the project team is prepared for possible challenges and ma-achieve ang goals sa project success.
Section 5. This section is dedicated to estimating the overall cost of the project. This is where the budget is. This section is broken into 3 major parts. Project budget. This should be a detailed line item budget broken up by different project categories, such as travels, salary, or supplies. Ensure all overhead or indirect costs are also included in the budget. This is where the budget is salary, categories, supplies, etc. Additional financial statement. Some projects, depending on complexity, will require additional financial statement, like a profit and loss statement, a tax return, or refunding sources. The rate is mga profit sa imo. Mga budget sa project.
So, the module na gihatag ni Ma'am is example. We're so sorry because ang basic information number 1 is wala na lumod si Abernica o copy, but she will read it with you guys and you can refer to your notes, and the rest is basahon sa akong mga ka-group ang description sa basahon ni America.
Number 1, basic information. Name of project, Gulayan sa Paaralan Project or GPP. Municipality, Tampina. Proposed implementing national government agency, Department of Education, DepEd, in cooperation with other concerned government agencies. Objectives: to improve and increase vegetable production and consumption by teaching the learners the method of sustainable production of food which are applicable to their homes and important for household security. It also aims to establish school gardens to serve as main source of food reproduction to sustain supplementary feeding. It is also showcase small-scale production models in schools to be replicated in the household. Target physical outputs. School gardening tools, data or records on health, nutritional status of the learners. Location of project, identify barangays and/or sitios. In all barangays and sitios within the municipality of Tampina. Target beneficiaries, Tampina 1 District 24 Public Elementary Schools, Tampina 2, 15 Public Elementary Schools, Cluster 7 Secondary Schools, 7 Public Secondary Schools. Budget or requested from national government, LGU or counterpart. BHP 391,000 plus 69,000 equals 460,000 total.
So, number 2, project rationale and objective. As well as we all know, most of the learners in any places of our country belong to poor families and have greater possibility of dropping out in their basic education just because of hunger and malnutrition in school. And besides, by helping their parents to earn a living. Furthermore, the health and nutrition of these learners are a crucial factor affecting their academic performance. Hence, our government must do something in order to address this immortal educational issue once and for all. For this reason, let us educate the learners the methods of sustainable production of food, such as vegetable production and consumption, which are applicable to their homes and important for household security. Furthermore, this will also teach them with the following: improving nutritional status, learning where food comes from, promoting beautification, watershed education, producing food, stimulating creativity, encouraging leadership and service, changing family, and the last is home and food habits. So, as a matter of fact, these livelihood skills that the learners will acquire from the school can also be applied and replicated in their respective households. Thus, by making foods more accessible to all schools, that will certainly improve the health and nutritional status for the learners through this sustainable school feeding program. Our government can better ensure their success.
Mauni ang description sa basic information. Project description. One of the tasks of the Department of Education or DepEd is a strict patent and intensity the implementation of the Gulayan sa Paaralan Project or GPP in all public elementary and secondary school to serve as food basket and
a ready source of vegetables for school. So, supplementary feeding program. According to the report of Nutrition and Health Council, hunger and malnutrition are two main problems that really affect 19% or 3,268,000 females families out of the 7,400,000 families household in the country due to lack of food to eat or money to buy food. Meanwhile, our government is now strengthening the implementation of school community food production under this program, which shall be tied up with other concerns. Agencies that seeks to raise the level of public consciousness on the health and nutritional dimensions as well as economic benefits or established school households and community gardens. Established school gardens to serve as the food basket means source of sustained supplementary feeding. Intensity, the product and the intensify the product and the consumption of vegetables and fruits. Showcase small scale food production models in school for the household community to replicate purposely to promote family and food security. Inculcate among the school learners the values of good health and nutrition and industry, love of labor and caring for others.
Nagugnayan sa paaralan project will be implemented in all public, elementary, and secondary schools in full and limited areas within the municipality of Laguna using the organic gardening technologies like bio-intensive gardening. The said schools will be provided with gardening tools and vegetables. ICT in line with this program in UPSAS work. Committee will be the one who conduct the advocacy, orientation, and distribution of materials, monitoring and evaluation. There must be a seminar workshop that will be conducted prior to the distribution of gardening tools and vegetable seedlings to ensure that everything is in accordance with the scope of this program and above all, for effective implementation. The school administrators, school heads of both elementary and secondary public schools within the municipality of Taguina, including their respective teachers, school PTA officers and members, school governing council members, barangay council member or city official as part of their moral obligations must spearhead in the implementation of this program. Gulayan sa Paaralan Project or DPT, the source of funds of this program must come from the national government with 85% and local government with 15% as part of the poverty and hunger alleviation program of the government. Finally, it is expected that the school administrators in involved in this program must submit a quarterly narrative report for this program to the GPP task force and to their respective schools. This record cluster nurses, which eventually be forwarded also to the office of the DepEd Secretary, Attorney, Health and Nutrition Center, DepEd Complex, Pasig City. That's all.
Ah. Dari?
So once again, we are the group 2 and that's the end of our report. Thank you.
Question.